Well, it's the 2nd of August 2018. That makes it 45 years since the Summerland tragedy, and with me is Ruth, who comes over every year, and we've become friends over the years, and it's one of those, it's a sad but pleasant to see you sort of thing. But how do you feel? I mean, 45 years, still no closure, in the sense of, since then there's been other fires, and and still the Isle of Man doesn't get that, not recognition, but the sort of, it doesn't stand out to a lot of people, even in the psyche, that this thing even took place. It's
strange, and it's very frustrating too. I was over on the boat yesterday, and people start to chat as they do, very friendly in Northern Ireland as they are here. And why are you going over a holiday, or what's it for? And I explained, what's Summerland?
Yeah,
people my age, a lady that lived here 19 years, had never heard of Summerland.
I mean, well,
it's quite incredible.
And to think that still the ruins are on that wall even to this day.
No, this big complex that was innovative and ahead of its time, and the biggest in Europe, I believe, at that time, and people still haven't heard of what happened.
You were up there, were you?
We had gone up to the top floor, and we had looked down across the building, looked all around, supposed to see what there was, maybe, you know, work our way back down, have a look at everything. And Dad saw smoke coming from a ventilation shaft. If you look at pictures of the exterior, you can see these vents in the galbestos wall.
Yes. And
I presume it was one of those. And that's where he saw the smoke just before the announcement was made down below, and then we started to make our way out.
There's no one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody having a
I
good
remember
time.
very, very young. I was 13. You were what, 5?
5.
But it's vivid, obviously.
People have mentioned that to me. But when you're 5, when you're a child, your mind's like a sponge. You take everything in.
Yeah.
If you think of people, when they get older and their minds, if maybe they take dementia, they go back to their childhood, and those memories are more vivid than anything else. And I think, these things do. I have clearer memories than what some adults have.
Even from things like that, you can't.
I remember the carpet and everything.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I dream about the carpet.
I mean, just something. You don't see fire exit signs anywywhere. In buildings these days,
That's
you see signs, don't you?
Although some of them, I was in a shopping complex a few months ago, and one was obstructed, and I did go to look for somebody to say to, but who do you complain to? Couldn't find anyone.
Again, that's a.
Yeah, that escalator. I still have nightmares about that. I'm at the bottom. Sometimes dreams to sort of be the opposite way around. I would be at the bottom, and I would see Dad and Linda at the top, and I call. I try, and I waken up, and I know I've been trying to shout in my sleep, and I can see them. They're just about to disappear from sight, and I know there's danger.
Yeah. And
you're waking up, and you've been crying.
I'm not showing any fire pictures, by the way.
No, understandable.
And your book had no fire pictures, did it? I mean, is it one of those things you just...
No, because I sort of hoped in a way it would help people to come to terms with what had happened, and I think to show them the building in flames would bring that back. I'm just like, I have this image of the sunflower now in place of Summerland, where Summerland is. Mm-hmm. That helps me. That's a positive image. But, to look at the fire just evokes all those terrible memories.
Of course, it was out here, the side where there was that sort of shed, wasn't there? Near the Crazy Golf.
Here it is here.
Oh, that's the one
That's
there?
it there.
Actually there?
It's very strange because,
right.
Yes, I can't come to grips with it, get to grips with it at all, because they said in the fire report, I think, I'd have to check, but I'm nearly sure it says it was mostly dismantled.
Yeah.
But then when we read papers and different documents, it said that the boys broke in to a section of it.
Yeah. 2
broke the door with a stone, and the other climbed through a window. Well, there's 2 problems there. If it was mostly dismantled, you can see it here in the picture. How on earth would you be able to still get through a door? Yeah,
or plastic?
No, it's fiberglass.
It's fiberglass.
Fiberglass, yeah.
So that was selling tickets for the Crazy Golf or something, was it?
Yes, and a storm had damaged it some time before, and of course, some of it was put away, but part of it wasn't. Somebody was meant to do it, and nobody did.
And this is this view of the Oraglass. Years later, I was at school, and we used to use it for making things, and we would light it, and it would just drip.
Really?
It was still being used years later. It's incredible, isn't it?
People never learn. Do we ever learn, and will we ever learn from the lessons of the past?
So, things with you, where are we up to? I mean, you've written the book, which I love reading, by the way. It was quite a hard read in places.
I know it is pretty tough, but...
Did it give you that thing that you needed?
It did, because I couldn't explain to people. People probably thought I was being difficult in different circumstances, but they didn't know why I was the way I was.
One thing is, your life's never been easy.
No,
the simplest things.
I just have bad luck. I think,
on
a lighter moment, my grandmother, who's long since gone, on the McQuillan side, used to talk about the curse of the McQuillans.
Oh, really?
I think it goes way back to time. The McQuillans were lords of the root in the Antrim direction, Antrim coast, and they were owners of Dunluce Castle, and they lost it to a Scottish clan, and I think our luck's gone downhill ever since then. We've had no luck.
On the positive side, you've had a lot more media this year, haven't you? You've done quite a lot of interviews.
Quite a lot of interviews.
People are sort of keeping the traction going. Tonight, we're recording this on the day of the actual anniversary. There's going to be 2 events. I mean, you've got the council having theirs in the garden.
Yes.
And there's also the people who were having, for the first time they've had access on the night, I think, since I've been there once, years and years ago, when the bishop had said a few things.
Demolition, I watched that.
It was that. So, obviously, do you think that's a good idea, having 2 at the same time? And
well, it would be better to stagger it, because I'll definitely be going to the one that the council hold, because the memorial's there, and I need to be there to pay my respects to these people who've been part of my life since I was 5, and lay flowers there and read their names. It's so important for me to look at each name and remember each life. As well as that too, I think people who are directly involved in the fire like me, it's very difficult for us to go to the site because we have those terrible memories, and to stand there, you know, would bring all that back. I find that very tough, particularly on the night of the anniversary. And I did get permission. I asked for permission a few years ago to walk on the site, you know, on the anniversary, and it was given to me, no bother, but it didn't avail of it. I couldn't do it, you know. When it came to the bit, it just wasn't strong enough.
Will you go over to the other one, obviously, then, afterwards?
I would like to meet some of the people that are there, because there will be people, maybe other survivors and the bereaved that I haven't had a chance to talk to, and possibly some of the firefighters who I met a few of them this year for the very first time, and was able just to say thank you, which is something I wanted to do for a great many years. It was wonderful.
There's still people coming out with stories, though, aren't there? I mean, I know we're still, you give me help, and we're still contacting people. Anyway, what's going to come about it? I know you're taking this, you're keeping your mission on.
Yes.
About keeping it in people's
until everyone
psyche
in the world has heard of Summerland, I won't.
And what do you want? You want the sunflower on the site? You want to do something with the site? I mean, where are we up to?
Well, the site. This year, Douglas Borough Council put 2 beautiful seats in the garden with sunflowers on, which is absolutely wonderful. Lovely addition, and also practical. People can sit down and pay their respects and have a wee think and a wee cry in private. With the site, it's very difficult with the site because we all have different feelings towards it. Sometimes people would ask me, do I think it should just be left as it is, you know, just as a memorial? Other times I think it should be redeveloped, you know.
The crazy thing, right, it was redeveloped, that's the whole thing. Summerland 2 was there, and now we're back to this thing. And, you know, still got the aquadrome on the side of the building, of that cliff, which will never be resolved. It's a legal issue more than anything, isn't it, about the stability of it all.
The cliff. I read a Facebook post lately, and there's a sign that said there were falling rocks. So I was surprised to hear that this memorial was going to be on, this anniversary is going to be on the site. So I don't know whether work has been carried out since
Probably kept well back.
But just kept well back. Because it's that long, if I really took a good look at it, I know I'll go up, but can't look too closely if it's just too painful. So I couldn't get in my mind where actually people would stand. I know where I was, which would have been further, you know, obviously up here was where we got out. I talk about Life Belt 28, and it's just across from the bit that I remember, the view that I had. Yeah.
So, how do you feel when you see that?
Do you know, it was so very difficult at the start, but I have trained myself, it's not really the right way, but
you can blank it.
I can blank that to a certain degree, but if that's in flames,
well,
I can't blank it. You know, and this, people ask me what I thought of this wall when I first went in, but when you're 5, a wall like that doesn't mean anything.
The book's still available? The
book's still available, yes.
Where to get it?
It'll be on Amazon, Lily Publications. I think Waterstones has it online in different shops.
Are you working on book 2?
Yes, a wee bit of ill health, bit of a blip this year, so I know where I am with it, and I've got, you know, everything sort of laid out. But I can't keep up with the stories that are coming in, you know, and getting everyone's stories.
What's the best contact for you if people want to get hold of you?
Email or phone, anything. Facebook, I don't mind anything at all. But it's unbelievable. I've had a guy heard of the story in South Africa and wanted a book. You know, some American people were interested. It's getting around the world.
Oh well, good to see you. And we'll have reports tonight, and we'll go down there. And I can't believe 45 years now.
45 years.
Do you think we'll ever get to when people will move on? I mean, I suppose everyone will just die out eventually. I suppose it'll be that.
Well, I'm getting old now and I'm one of the younger ones, so that was my worry, you know, to stay alive, you know, stay healthy and stay alive until we get it to the point that people aren't going to forget. They'll remember that these people came here for a wonderful time and tragically lost their lives, and everyone else was affected by it.